Hey guys, it's Lee and you're watching Simply Smarter Income, helping you to start, build, and grow a successful online business. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about 7 myths about passive income that you absolutely need to know about. So by the end of this video, you'll have an idea of what is actually a myth about passive income and what is actually true about passive income. So make sure you watch this video until the very end. If you're new here, my name is Lee and this channel is all about helping you to make money online with a successful online business. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, consider subscribing. I make new videos every single Thursday. And so with that, let's get into the video. Number 1, you can put your revenue streams on autopilot. Okay, so this is a very interesting myth, and it's actually something that I feel like is proliferated throughout the internet. Everyone always thinks that you can just do something like this one thing, like this one time, and it makes you money every single night, even while you sleep and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And the thing that's interesting about that is that, when it comes down to it, it's definitely possible to get to a point where your business runs pretty much by itself in a lot of ways, but it's very unrealistic to say that, you just have to do something one time and it's going to run by itself and it's on autopilot and you don't have to touch it. The reality is that when it comes down to passive income, there's a lot of work that's involved initially. And then also depending on the way that your business model is set up, you're still going to have to do a lot of tweaking. There's also still going to have to be a lot of work that you have to put in each and every week as well. So of course, depending on what your passive income stream is, it could be something where, you don't have to do a lot. Maybe you just, every couple of weeks you have to upload some posts or shoot a few videos or whatever it might be. And your business continues to thrive. But, depending on what it is, there's going to be a lot of things you're going to have to continue to do, like researching, looking at your competitors. And again, when it comes down to blogs and things like that, you're going to have to reach out to writers. You're going to have to be the one writing. You're going to have to find a way to keep this engine running pretty much by itself if you want to get to that point. But, saying that it's going to be an autopilot is honestly, it's not really the truth at all. All right. So myth number 2 is that real estate is the safest form of passive income. Okay. So when it comes down to real estate, I think that it's easy for someone to say that it's very safe, right? It's a safe form. You buy the property, you put the tenants in there, they pay you every month and everything's gravy, right? Well, that's not actually true. When it comes down to real estate can be very tricky. It can also be something that can be very good as well. Not to scare you, but there can be a lot of unknowns when it comes down to real estate, and a lot of things can go bad as well. You can buy a property, maybe there's issues with the roof. Maybe there's some expenses that you don't necessarily plan for that are there. You could have tenants that don't pay, tenants that ruin your property. You can have a management company that is terrible. And you have to go back and find a new management company. There are so many different things that can happen when it comes down to real estate. And you really have to be mindful about those things as well when it comes down to real estate itself. There are a lot of other things that you can do that are much safer and less of a headache in a lot of ways as well. So for instance, when it comes down to stocks or mutual funds or just investing in stocks that have dividends that are going to be paying you that passive income, that can be a great way to just put your money there and have it make you money every single month. And there really is not a lot of maintenance that you have to do. And there's not a lot of things you have to worry about except for the overall stock market itself. So consider that. Myth number 3 about passive income is that you need an actual business in order to earn passive income. Okay, when it comes down to it, you don't need an actual business to make passive income. One of the ways that you can be successful initially is to really just get started, right? So let's say you want to start a blog. You can just go ahead and get started with that blog. Or if you want to create a website that is selling some kind of item or whatever, and you want to just kind of see if, test the market, see if this is actually going to work, you can actually do all of that and get started and start to actually make money before you actually establish a business. It is recommended, depending on what you're doing, to actually have an LLC or something similar to that because of the liability or the risk that might be involved in whatever that business might be. But for the most part, you really don't need to do that. You can actually have a blog and run that blog and make money that's passive income every single month and not necessarily have an actual business at all. So don't feel like you have to have a business in order to be successful or have to have a business in order to make passive income, because that's definitely not true. So the 4th myth about passive income is that you have to have a lot of startup money in order to be successful. Okay, so that's another myth that is definitely not true. So there are actually a lot of ways that you can get started with creating a passive income online for yourself without a whole lot of money to start with. Of course, with most things, if you have a lot of money to start, you may be in a better position than other folks getting started, but that is not something that you need to have. So for instance, when it comes down to, again, starting a blog, if you're starting a blog initially, it's pretty much a pretty low barrier to entry, when it comes down to it. When it comes down to hosting is not very expensive. So for instance, you could start off with Bluehost and actually have a coupon, by the way, that it will make it $2.95 per month to get started. That's super cheap. That's like a cup of coffee somewhere. I'll leave that up here and also in the description below. But you can get started cheaply like that. And then you can also use something like WordPress as your platform for your website as well. And you can just get started right away like that. Of course, there are other ways out there like using Elementor and other tools to sort of make your site more beautiful, right? To beautify your site. But that's a very cheap way to get started. And you can get started immediately at such a low price point. So when I first started my first several niche websites, that's actually what I did. Like I used, cheap hosting, and I tried to minimize the amount of tools that I was actually spending money on. And it started to make me money to the point where it paid for the tools plus, some income as well. And so that's kind of what you're looking for. So no matter what kind of passive income route that you take, just be rest assured that you don't need a ton of money to get started. It's not something that you need. I mean, even when it comes down to, maybe investing in dividend stocks, you don't need a ton of money to get started. Even with that, like even with something like $500 to $1,000, you can really be well on your way in terms of investing that money. So something to think about. So myth number 5 is that it only takes a couple days to get started making passive income. So with this one, I'm going to say that this is both true and false, right? I think it really depends on what you're getting involved in. But when it comes down to creating passive income, is there a way that you can start to make a couple bucks here and there with passive income within a couple days? I would say chances are probably not. And if you are making that within a couple days, it's probably not going to be anything to write home about. It's not going to be something that's life changing. It's not going to be enough to even probably buy yourself lunch once a week. So, or even just throughout the entire month, just one time. So I would say that that's probably not going to be true. If you already have a huge following and a lot of people are, into whatever it is that you're talking about or whatever it is you're selling, or they are really interested in the brand that you've created for yourself. And then you want to start getting involved in creating passive income with like affiliate marketing and things like that. Is it possible to start making passive income in a couple of days? Then I would say for sure, there definitely is a way that you can do that because you already have that audience. But for a lot of people, that's not going to be something that's true. It's going to be something that you're going to be building up over time and introducing those passive income streams as you grow. So that's why I say that one's sort of true and false. It really depends, but I would err on the side of caution and say that's probably not going to be true. It's probably going to take you much longer than a couple days to actually see success when it comes down to passive income. So myth number 6 is that it's easy to generate passive income. Now, the reason why this is a myth is because for the most part, besides what I just talked about a moment ago, it's actually very challenging to create passive income, okay? Like most ways that you can create passive income, it's not very easy. It takes a lot of time and effort and energy to actually make passive income. So for instance, when it came down to my niche sites, I started off with one niche website, and then I started with another one a little bit later after the first one found some success. But when it came down to it, I was spending evenings and nights and weekends working on my niche website. And it was a lot of time and energy that I had to invest in that. And to the point where, I didn't hang out with my friends as much, or I didn't go out as much. I didn't do some things. So there was definitely some sacrifice in my personal life that I made to do that because I do have a full-time job, right? So I had to do that outside of work hours. But it was a lot. There's a lot of research involved. I had to figure out how to use new tools. I had to, look online to learn as much as possible. I had to take a course or so to learn some things that I needed to really know in order to be successful. So there were so many different things out there that I had to do and invest in order to actually start to generate that passive income on a consistent basis. So saying that it's easy to generate passive income is total BS. And unless you have a lot of money to just throw at, like I said, something like maybe dividend stocks or something like that, you're probably not going to see that passive income rolling in very quickly without that minimal effort, right? Because it's a process. So definitely don't get into this whole passive income game with the ideology that it's super easy, anyone can do it, and it's a piece of cake. Because honestly, if it was that easy, everyone and their grandmother would be doing this and everyone would be making money. And that's just not how it is. Myth number 7 is that one stream of passive income is more than enough. Now, that is definitely not true. Now, when you think about it, if you take a step back, what do most people have, right? Most people have a job. And probably most people have a full-time job. I'm just going to assume there. But the thought process is that most people are going to have that one full-time job that's going to supply the money that they need to live and survive. And so if you think about it, having a job on this hand and also on this hand, you know, having an income that is passive, that makes you money every single month, you know, when it comes down to it, whether you just have a job that's full-time or you are making your own money with your passive income, it's kind of like this one or that one, right? So having one stream of income is not ideal for anybody, for any of us, honestly. So you need to have more than one stream of income. Everyone always talks about this, and the reason they do is because it's definitely true. You need to have more than one way to have money coming in. And so that's definitely not true. Even when it comes down to passive income, you have to do what's called diversify your income, right? So you might need to do affiliate marketing. You might need to have ads on your sites. You also might need to have your own physical product that you're selling, or maybe a service that you're offering, or some other product that you're selling, brand sponsorships with other companies and businesses out there. There has to be multiple streams of income that you're creating for yourself if you have a business. And even if you don't have a business, it makes more sense to have more streams of income, because if something happens with any of these streams of income, it's going to hurt really, really bad. Just like if you get fired or laid off tomorrow, it's going to hurt a lot because you've been relying on that one source of income. But if you have multiple sources of income and one falls off, you're not going to panic as much. It's not going to hurt as much. You're not going to be stressed as much as well. You're not going to feel that desperation sort of, you know, latching onto you, and you're not going to have to worry about it as much. So there you go, 7 myths about passive income that you definitely needed to know. If you found value in this video, go ahead and hit the like button for me. Also, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button as well. And if there are any other myths out there that you've heard a lot about that you want to share with me or with people who are watching this video, please leave that in the comments below. I will be more than happy to reply to you. I try to do my best to reply to each and every single comment that's out there. So go ahead and don't be shy. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.